The tip for this week is how to seam stockinette, and I've done a video for the figure eight and seaming garter, so may as well do this. And sorry these swatches are so beat up, but you can tell I've used them quite a bit. Now, when we whinge on in the master's program about neat selvages and blocking the selvages so that they're flat, this is the reason why. It makes finishing a lot easier. If your selvage tension is poor, it's going to make the seam look poor as well. And so that's why it's so important. Now I'm going to do a figure eight, and I've already done a video on this, so I'm not going to belabor the point. I go in the cast on edge on one side, go in the cast on edge on the other side, and I go back up into the same location on the other side. And if I get all these tails out of the way and I kind of look at it a certain way, it is a figure eight. Okay. Now, when I'm seaming stockinette, what I am looking for is the horizontal bars between the first column of stitches and the selvage edge. And since I've blocked this selvage edge flat, it's easy to see. And I'm looking for this horizontal bar that looks kind of like a smile, not this horizontal bar that's in the center of the stitch, looks kind of like a frown. That would be seaming in the center. And in the blog entry, I'll have some photos of how you can do this wrong. Now, to begin the seam, I go into the same spot where I went out. That's where I want to start. Going under that horizontal bar. I'm going into the same place, and I'm going up and under that horizontal bar, into the same location, out, into the same location, and out, and I just repeat that. Now you will see some references where they tell you you can do 2 horizontal bars at a time. Well, if you have perfect tension, yeah, maybe you can do that. I find you get a better seam and you have less likeliness of getting off if you do every single bar. That way, you know, your rows are going to line up. And that is the goal, after all, when you are seaming, that the rows line up exactly so that it looks like the pattern has been maintained. Now when I'm done, and I can do this at any point, I can do it when I'm done or as in portion, is I make sure that I'm holding the bottom, and I just pull the top thread, and if I pull too hard, I might pull it to the point that I lose the thread. I've done that before where I've pulled it completely out. And there's my seam, and you can see that those rows line up. My cast on edge lines up, row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on. And that is the stockinette. And it's the best of all because it is completely invisible if you do it right.